I'm Darielle Snipes with the CMSD News Bureau. On Tuesday, the Cleveland Board of Education and Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb announced that Dr. Warren Morgan would become the next CEO of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. After that announcement, Dr. Morgan was so kind to come to the CMSD News Bureau studios for a conversation. Welcome, Dr. Warren Morgan, and congratulations on your new position.
Thank you so much. I'm truly excited. Yeah.
Well, so, can you tell us about your background, your professional background, and where you've come from and how you got back here to CMSD?
Yeah, so I've been a classroom teacher, department chair, science department chair, high school principal supervisor here in Cleveland, and then, working in central office. But I've also done stints in nonprofit. I've worked on education policy at the state level and at the federal level at the White House. And so many different experiences to bring into this work. And I'm just, really excited about the opportunity. Lots of learning along the way. Of
course. And so right now you are in the Indianapolis public schools. Can you talk about what you've been doing there?
Yeah, so I serve as the chief academic officer. And so I have the fortune of leading the instructional vision for our teachers, our school leaders, for our 31,000 students in Indianapolis public schools. And so we've done some great work, made some great gains, learned a lot, and so really looking to apply those lessons here and see what we can continue to do here. It's been a great foundation built here, and I know we have work ahead of us as well.
Right, and so from 2014 to 2016, you were actually here as a network leader. Can you just talk about your time here at CMSD?
Yeah, so CMSD, this was my first central office role. So I was coming straight from being a principal, and I had the opportunity of supervising at one point 14 principals of the investment schools strategy, which was a specific strategy out of the Cleveland plan. And so we were knowing a lot about the Cleveland plan, reading a lot about it. We also had our corrective action plans as part of the investment strategy. And so I learned a lot from the community. We had lots of community partners. It was great seeing Sonia Pryor-Jones, who now is at the mayor's office, who worked with the Cleveland Central Promise neighborhood at the time and worked as a partner with our investment schools. And so it just shows how many people continue to be invested in CMSD, whether their roles have shifted or they're doing different work. It's like a big family. And so that is one thing that was really striking about today, just seeing so many people that continue to be invested. And that's what I learned from my time that I was here.
So, and then it was interesting today at your press conference where the Board of Education and Mayor Justin Bibb introduced you as the new CEO. Eric Gordon, the current CEO, said that he actually hired you, and so this is coming full circle.
Full circle, full circle.
And so, I mean, what attracted you now about coming back to CMSD?
Yeah, it's interesting. One, I have such a respect for CEO Eric Gordon. Not only because he hired me here, but through the years, as he mentioned earlier, we've stayed in touch. And it's a strategy that I lived when I was under his leadership working before, but then also I've gotten a chance to see from afar. And so when I found out he was transitioning, I would have never thought I would be his successor, but there were many people that asked, like, hey, have you considered, have you thought about this? And, seeing all the work that the district has done and the firm foundation that has been put in place, it was something that more and more as I looked at it and I read the stakeholder interviews, I said, you know what, this is something I want to try, and I would be honored if I'm, standing at the finish line to be a successor. And so just grateful to be in this position and just so thrilled to be a successor.
Well, during your time at Teach for America and as a White House fellow, how do you think that experience will help you here as the CEO of CMSD?
Yeah, I mean, a few things. So first, as a White House fellow, I learned the importance of partners in this work. There's so many partners that partner with CMSD, whether they are community partners, whether they are foundations. And you need to have a very firm district strategy and vision with goals, but then also know how partners can uniquely partner with you in this work. And so I learned that from my time in the White House, and that's something I would carry into this role. And similarly with the work of Teach for America, because I started as a Teach for America teacher. That's how I was teaching. But then when I was working and leading from the nonprofit side, I was working with many different leaders, whether that was and that was in St. Louis Public Schools, whether that was directly with the superintendent, directly with our teachers, directly with other teacher development programs to figure out what is the system of education doing and how can we make an impact. And so that is the work that we're doing here in Cleveland, looking at the system's impact, looking at all of our different stakeholders to work together to make change for our scholars.
Perfect. So during your interview process, you met with a lot of different groups when they were in panels, and you met with caregivers, parents, and teachers, students, and a lot of other ones. But when you met with the students, I mean, they talked a lot about their needs. I mean, and that's obviously who we're here for. We're here for the students, you know, but they did talk about safety and mental health. You know, they talked to you about their concerns, I mean, how did that really touch you, knowing that, you know, now that you're the CEO and then you can really help them?
Yeah, that was a theme throughout all the interviews, really thinking about safety, culture, and climate. Everyone talked about how proud they are of the system, and then also thinking about how we can continue to really make a safe environment. Even when I was talking to families, before my interview, I went back to my old barber that was here when I was here before. He got me cut up and got me ready, and we were just talking about the schools, and he just said, you know, if you get this, you need to think about how to create a sense of belonging in the schools. He actually, at one point, was thinking about, or even transitioned out of the system because wasn't sure if there was like a real sense of belonging really in the system. And so I said, you know what, these are things we have to really look at and, you know, see how we can really build upon it. And then also, I went to some coffee shops the morning of the interviews and was just asking the community, what do you want to see? And that, once again, that connection to schools, building on the work that CMSD has done, but also just thinking, how can we create a better connection within our schools so students feel safe, seen, and heard? And so I hear that loud and clear, and I know that that'll be something we'll have to work on.
So I know that when you were here the first time around, you know, the Cleveland plan was prominent in your work, and it'll probably be this time around again. One of the assets of the Cleveland plan is the Student Advisory Committee, which is made up of students from all of our high schools, and they are there for you to bounce off ideas and everything. And you know, it's written into law that this has to be a part of the school district. So, I mean, when you think about that you have a group of very talented, smart students who have their ear to the ground at their high schools, ready to give you feedback on what needs to happen to make students successful. What do you think about the fact that you have that at your as a tool in your toolkit?
I think it's a beautiful thing. I mean, not only that most districts have some type of advisory council, but this is a large advisory council from many different schools across the district. And so I think that that's a beautiful thing to always have the touch point of our #1 customer, which is our students. And that's why we're here. We're here in service of them. And so if we lose sight of what they're experiencing and what they want out of their system, we've lost sight of everything. And so it's really important to have that voice of our students, and also just really figuring out ways that they can continue to feel really activated and also part of the decision-making process. That's something I would want to make sure we continue, and even really figure out how we continue to activate that even more.
So you're going to start in the summer. And so when school starts in August, I mean, what's something that you want to do, or I know your action plan, what's one of the first things you would like to do? Yeah,
so my entry plan is really grounded in 3 principles: listening, learning, and leading. But that first step is listening, just really listening. The advantage of doing many different experiences, being in many different districts, or even doing many different types of roles, is you learn a lot of strategies to solve similar problems. Because urban education in Chicago, Indianapolis, St. Louis, Cleveland, different places, but similar challenges: culture and climate, safety issues, and all of them. You know, catching kids up, particularly in literacy issues, graduation rates. We're all dealing with these things. So you learn all these different strategies along the way. But you can't just rubber stamp it and just think like, oh, I'm going to take this one plan from here and just say boom, because there are people leading this work now, and it would be a disservice to just be dismissive and not listen and understand the context before beginning to learn and lead. And so I really want to take that first step of listening. I have lots of ideas and thoughts coming from those different places, but I really, really want to take the time to listen to our stakeholders, and also for them to get a chance to learn a little bit about me. I know that I was here before, I've also changed in some regards, and so it's helpful for people to just see what I can also bring to help them and us working together so that we can lead this charge together.
Wonderful. Well, again, congratulations. Look forward to you moving here back to Cleveland in the summertime and working with you. So congratulations again, Dr. Moore.
Thanks so much. Glad to be here.